1 year prior, Jim Crockett Promotions held the first ever Starrcade, broadcast live from several closed-circuit locations throughout the Southeast. Nature Boy Ric Flair regained the NWA World Championship from 7-time champion Harley Race, but after congratulating him on his victory, he was quickly put on notice by the American Dream Dusty Rhodes of his own intent to regain the title. Flair first defeated Rhodes in September of 1981 for the championship, but now with $1 million on the line, additional motivation is added to Rhodes' quest to ascend to the top of the NWA throne once again. The legendary Russian veteran, Ivan Koloff, brought his nephew Nikita into Mid-Atlantic Wrestling to establish Soviet superiority over American athletes. Don Kernodle, standing up as a proud patriot against what he felt disrespect of his country, found himself in their path, and paid the price. Another proud veteran, Ole Anderson, steps in to join Kernodle's brother, Keith Larson, to fight the Russians in honor of family in America. Superstar Billy Graham and Wahoo McDaniel have crossed paths from territory to territory for well over a decade. McDaniel, the current United States champion, defends his title against the Superstar, former Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion, while Tully Blanchard defends the television championship against Ricky Steamboat. Also, Ron Bass defends the Mid-Atlantic Championship against Dick Slater. Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant takes on Paul Jones in a tuxedo loser leaves town match, with Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, Black Bart, and more at Starrcade 84. The second edition of Starrcade began with a match for the NWA Junior Heavyweight title between champion Mike Davis and Denny Brown. Brown begins by using a head scissors in an arm lock, but ends up on the floor after missing a move. Davis then slams Brown and focuses on his injured back, but he attempts to fight back, but Davis counters. They collide, leading to a double down. Davis performs a back suplex, and both wrestlers find themselves down, but Brown lifts his shoulders first to pin Davis. The ring announcer incorrectly declares Davis as the title holder while Brown celebrates, leaving commentators confused as they highlight an exciting opening match. Brian Adias takes on Mr. Ito next. The two men engage in various moves, including holds and reversals. Adias successfully lands a dropkick as Ito cheats frequently, and both wrestlers work on each other's arms. Adias performs a nice reversal to a slam. Ultimately, Adias wins with an airplane spin. Mike Graham attempts to regain the Florida heavyweight title from Jesse Barr in the next contest. The match starts with Barr and Graham trading holds. Barr uses his strength, bending the rules by pulling hair, despite his reputation as an All-American wrestler, which is surprising. Graham retaliates with an Indian deathlock, focusing on Barr's knee. They engage in a long test of strength before Graham finally takes Barr down and tries a figure four, but Barr escapes outside and applies a headlock. Graham again attempts the figure four, but Barr reaches the ropes, and the referee gets accidentally knocked down. After recovering, they exchange roll-ups, but Barr wins by pinning Graham in the corner using the ropes to retain. The next contest is a tag team elimination match between Paul Jones's Zambui Express vs Assassin No. 1 and Buzz Tyler. A brawl ensues at the outset, and the Express team pulls back as Tyler acts like a mix of two wrestlers. He gets beaten by Kareem Muhammad and headbutted by Elijah Akeem. Tyler fights back and knocks Akeem down. Another brawl happens, and Tyler pins Muhammad by pushing his partner on him. Akeem is left alone, but it turns out Tyler and Akeem were counted out earlier, allowing Tyler and the Assassin to win. Manny Fernandez challenges Black Bart for the Brass Knuckles Championship next. Manny starts the match by using his illegal karate on Bart, but Bart quickly strikes back, causing the bull to bleed. Sully comments on Fernandez's scar tissue on his forehead. Manny fights back, and they end up brawling outside the ring. Fernandez gains control with a fist drop, but Bart counters with a low blow. Bart uses an overhead shot drop, but the bull then rolls him up for the pin and wins the title. Paul Jones and Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant fight in a loser leaves tuxedo contest. Valiant attacks Jones, tying his neck and tearing his tuxedo. Jones escapes, counters, and takes control. Jimmy rallies back with a sleeper hold, but he lets go to confront the Zambui Express. J.J. Dillon hits Jimmy with an object, allowing Jones to pin him. Ron Bass defends the Mid-Atlantic Championship in the next match. Bass starts the match by attacking, as Slater chases J.J. Dillon away several times. Slater gets Bass in a headlock, but Bass escapes and Slater tries to get him back in the hold. Slater gets distracted by Dillon, and the referee grabs his foot to stop him from attacking Bass. This distraction allows Bass to rake Slater's eyes and take control. Slater struggles in the ropes but fights back after a suplex and a bulldog from Bass. However, Bass's team partner Dillon interferes, and Slater fights back but ends up throwing the referee out of the way. Slater seems to have Bass pinned, but the referee calls for a disqualification. Ole Anderson and Keith Larson, with Don Kernoodle, take on the Russians, Ivan and Nikita Koloff in the following tag team showdown. The All-Americans start by double-teaming Ivan and focusing on his arm. Ole performs a hammerlock slam, and they trade moves while Larson gets a hip toss. Ivan eventually fights back but gets slammed. Midway through the match, instead of working on the arm, he cheap shots Ole, leading to Nikita applying a bear hug. Ole escapes but is hit again before getting slammed. Nikita continues with the bear hug, but Ole tags Larson. Ivan then delivers the Russian hammer, causing chaos in the ring. While Nikita distracts Ole, Ivan finishes Larson with a sickle. After the match, Don Kernoodle enters with a crutch to help. Tully Blanchard defends his television title, plus $20,000 against Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat starts strong against Tully with chops, taking him down with a chinlock, but Tully escapes by rolling into the ropes. After some back and forth, Tully takes control with a backbreaker and targets Steamboat's ribs. Steamboat fights back with chops and hits a power slam for 2. Tully bleeds after continued attacks, but he retaliates with a cheap shot. They exchange moves, with Steamboat even using Tully's own slingshot suplex. As Steamboat gains momentum, Tully resorts to a foreign object hidden in his tights, leading to a near pin. They battle on the top rope, but Tully uses the object again to knock Steamboat out and pin him to retain the title. The next match pits U.S. champion Wahoo McDaniel against superstar Billy Graham. Wahoo attempts a wrist lock, but Graham breaks free. Wahoo then resorts to eye strikes and chops to gain control. Graham responds with a full Nelson but struggles to secure it. Wahoo reaches the ropes. Graham tries the hold again and gets close to a pin, but Wahoo counters with a sudden chop, securing a pinfall victory to retain his title. The $1 Million Challenge for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship is the main event of Starrcade 84. Nature Boy Ric Flair defends against former champion, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Rhodes breaks free from a headlock and punches Flair, then grabs his own headlock. There are celebrity judges in case the match ends in a draw, but that seems unlikely. Flair takes Rhodes down with a snapmare and gets a near fall. He misses a knee drop, and Dusty tries his version of the figure 4, but Flair escapes and attacks Rhodes' knee. He responds with a slam and fights back in the corner, leading to Flair being thrown out of the ring. Flair re-enters and hits Rhodes with an elbow before attempting a sleeper hold, but Rhodes manages to take it outside. They exchange punches, and after Flair throws Rhodes into the post, he starts to bleed. Joe Frazier, the judge, stops the match, saying Rhodes can't continue. A frustrated Rhodes desperately goes after Frazier, while being held back by other wrestlers who came to the ring, amid all of the chaos. After Starrcade 84, Jimmy Valiant returned after a brief hiatus to resume his ongoing feud with Paul Jones. Wahoo McDaniel held the United States title until March of 1985, losing to newcomer Magnum TA. McDaniel then departed for championship wrestling from Florida, where he remained a top contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Steamboat departed for the World Wrestling Federation, arriving in time to appear at the first ever WrestleMania. Ivan and Nikita Koloff would defeat Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez for the World Tag Team Championships. Crusher Khrushchev would later join the Russian stable and become six-man tag team champions as well. Ivan and Crusher defended the tag team titles occasionally, allowing Nikita to pursue Flair's world title. Dusty Rhodes would engage in a bitter feud with Tully Blanchard, trading the television title and the services of Blanchard's valet, Baby Doll, before challenging Ric Flair again for the world title at Starrcade '85. Ric Flair, now in his third reign as NWA World Champion, is widely recognized as the #1 wrestler in the entire sport, but as the WWF begins to separate itself from other promotions, Flair finds himself becoming lost in the shadow of a transcendent superstar, with an undeniable surge of unbridled mania, and bringing professional wrestling to mainstream entertainment pop culture.